But I'm seeing on Twitter right now, including ABC7 and their network as well, they say that a possible pipe bomb was detonated in a passageway below ground level at the Port Authority. There are other reports that apparently one person is in custody. There were a few injuries. Police have obtained video and are confident it is contained.
Yeah, the injuries part obviously has everybody concerned when you see that type of emergency medical response to the scene. But, Steve, at that hour, I mean, you all know New York, Ainsley, Brian, Steve, you've been there. I've been there 1,000 times. These are such densely populated areas. If you have an explosion of almost any type, I mean, if you had an M80 firecracker go off, you're going to hurt somebody. And that's these terrorists. That's their sick thinking. So I'm not surprised to see that. I mean, everybody, I think, is praying right now that the injuries are minimal. Hopefully there's not a significant death count from this, but it'd be very difficult not to injure someone at that location. And that's also what leads me to believe that there may be some terrorist implication here.
Dan, we're actually just learning NYPD is confirming that a suspect is in custody. So this does appear to be, this was not an accident.
Yeah, and if there's a suspect in custody, we obviously know it's not a homicide bombing as well. And I believe in cases like this is a good thing. I mean, you get to the motive, you get to what kind of support network this person may or may not have had, what led to the radicalization process. And guys, for future attacks, this is all information that really helps. One of the problems with these homicide bombings, obviously, is he kills himself or she along with the rest of the people, and you never get to the bottom of what actually happened. For you can be proactive in the future.
So we understand the NYPD is prepared to brief very soon. But if, of course, this suspect will be the same, if in fact is true, and their initial reports sometimes are, sometimes aren't, that we have him in custody and he is alive, he or she is alive, this will be the second one in a month. Dan, how do you explain that? We should be getting better at this. We shouldn't be more vulnerable at this, or have we just been dodging bullets for the last 10 years?
You know, Brian, the bad news, and pains me to tell you this, is these types of attacks, these low logistics, low planning attacks, whether they're using small arms to shoot in a crowd or whether it's a pipe bomb, they are nearly impossible to prevent using what I call like fireman techniques, like let's put out the fire afterwards. What I mean by that is if you're not an arsonist and you don't get active intelligence in advance of the attack to stop it, there's almost no way to stop it. What are you going to do with the Port Authority? They don't screen people on the way in, at least on the mass scale like they do at airports.
Will that change?
I don't know if it's possible, Ainsley. I really don't. I mean, do you set up magnetometer checkpoints? And then, Ainsley, what's the black and white zone? I mean, what if then they just go right outside the magnetometer and do something?
Dan, one of our police sources, one of the Twitters I'm looking at, apparently the person involved in the detonation of the device, it is reported, went off prematurely. That person is in custody but was injured and may have been wearing some kind of suicide vest.